Welcome back, everyone. It's Daniel Teese from 301 Night Crew. Trying to catch up with the review that I promised for, well, it's been a while now. I've had a lot of good time behind the Zulus, now the ThermNight 225R and the 335R, and we're just going to go through. I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. I started off with the Zulus. It's a phenomenal unit. Absolutely the best night vision optic I've used. Clarity wise, the onboard IR, awesome. Everything I've discussed in the initial review of the Zulus, it still stands. So the next progression was the ThermNight, which came out after the Zulus, and so you automatically want to try to compare the ThermNight to the Zulus night vision wise. You know, where does each of them stand? Well, it was a concern for me. There was some concern for some people online. You know, is it going to look better? Is it going to look worse? You know, what is different? And I'm here to say that there is some differences. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. I ran the 225R extremely hard with Freddie Fry for 2.5 nights of hard predator hunting from weather from 15, 20 degrees to 55, 60 degrees and back again. And the 225R, rock solid unit, crystal clear. Is it as clear as the Zulus? It's clear. This difference is the screen. What you're seeing is going to be different a little bit because the screen in the Zulus is a higher resolution screen. At least it seems to me. That would be my description of it. What happens is you'll see some finer pixels, mainly in day mode. I don't notice it at night nearly as much as I do in the daytime, like sighting it in or whatever. The Zulus comes out just a little bit crisper. And again, I think it's because of the screen in the ThermNight 225R. It's just a different screen than what you would see in the Zulus. Same processor. You just have a lot more processing, a lot more processes going on with the ThermNight between your thermal unit side and the night vision side. So throwing all that into the mix, add in laser rangefinder, ballistic calculation, all that stuff, try to throw all that together, have that processor do all that work. You know, it's maxed out. So, yes, the basset hounds are in the backyard. I don't know whether they went by the window, but there's deer in the backyard, so they're out barking at them. Yep, I see some deer crossing the yard. So how good is the ThermNight? Well, like I said, I ran it for 2.5 nights in that Predator tournament, and I've been using it every night since the day I got it, and until I recently got the 335. And the 225, people are saying it's 256 resolution thermal. How good can it be? And that's a very valid question. It's only as good as 256. You know, it's not breaking grounds with it. But what it does, that no other night vision optic does, is it gives you a all-in-one, all on one screen without taking your eye out of the unit. It lets you find a target, especially in taller grass or things that blend together, or you don't get the eye shine just right. You know, they're not looking your way. For whatever reason, you can't find that target strictly with night vision, and you're pulling your eye off the scope, going back into your binocular, looking, scanning, or whatever. You can get away with one unit if that's all you can afford. Stay in that optic, pick up that object, get on it with your crosshair, and be able to see it crystal clear with your night vision. So yes, if you're expecting to use 256 resolution, you know, for identification or any of that sort, it's not going to work out that way. And honestly, in my opinion of this entire lineup, from 256, 384, and 640, you know, the 635 iteration, if you're using thermal to shoot past 100 yards to 200 yards tops, you're doing it wrong. Unless it's foggy or something like that, you're not using the optic, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, you're not using the optic to its full potential, and that is the clarity of night vision to shoot while picking up your targets with thermal. So And not to mention, if you are expecting to shoot 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 yards on a 3-power optic versus a 5-power optic, which you have in the 225, or the same with the 384, your 3-power and 5-power, but one's 384, one's 256. Or if you jump to the 640, you're going to be at 1.5 base power. So on base optical magnification, you are at 1.5x, and that target is going to be tiny. And you're going to have a huge field of view. And so in my line of thinking, and why I would want something like that is I could have my picture-in-picture up there with thermal, or I could tap the button and jump to full screen and be looking at this big, huge field and find my targets. In coyote hunting, you might have 3 dogs coming in. You might have 2 coming from the right, 1 coming from the left, or whatever. You can track all those objects in real time with that big field of view thermal, 640 clarity, and with the tap of a button, you can jump to night vision, whatever. You can get on that target in thermal, jump to night vision, and you're ready to shoot. Tap of a button, you can jump back out to thermal to pick up that next dog. Or you could look up in your picture-in-picture and pick up your next dog in that manner. So to me, the ThermNight series is night vision primary, thermal backup, thermal strictly as a tool to find your object, to get on target quick, runners, so forth.
Imaging and night vision share the common purpose of increasing visibility in low light conditions, but the science behind the technologies is different. Night vision works by collecting and amplifying all available light, which includes some short wavelength infrared radiation, while thermal imaging captures longer wavelengths of IR.
Wow.
This is from MongoDB.com.
Thank you, Siri. Shut up, Siri. Interesting. So that's your Apple product listening to you constantly. Siri wanted to add something for us. So enjoy the extra added bonus. I won't charge you for it. Yeah, thank you, Siri. So to continue, you're not using thermal. You're not using thermal to shoot from. You're using night vision, and that's how I use it primarily. Now, if you get fog or something like that, and you need to cut that fog, your IR is being reflected off a fog or whatever, and you need a clearer picture, or you just want to stay in the game, yes, thermal's going to keep you in the game. With the 256, yeah, it's not pretty. You better get them in close. 384 is very doable. 384, by far, the 384 is my favorite optic as of now, and I love my 225, but the 335 is absolutely a remarkable optic. And I will discuss the jump from one to the next. But I just wanted to touch more on the 225. I've answered a lot of questions on YouTube, and I don't think there's a lot I could add to it. There's nothing that the night vision side doesn't leave to want. Yes, it could be a little bit clearer compared to the Zulus. But outside of that, I shot at a dog 479 yards. I did connect with it. I didn't post a full video because the dog did spin and very gingerly made it to the woods and went down the woods. It was 500 yards downhill, and I wasn't going tromping down through the woods at 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night. So it's a very capable unit. And the LRF and the ballistic calculations so far for me have been spot on. I actually need to spend some more time because my goal is to shoot something over 500 yards efficiently and effectively. So I have a 600 yard range that I have access to. I'm planning on spending a lot of time with hopefully the 635 ThermNight, the 640 unit. I'm hoping to have that soon. And it's going on this, which is my 22 Creedmoor. I've got a composite lower I'm building for it to lighten it up some. I went with the carbon fiber barrel. It's going to have a diamond trigger tech trigger in it and all the rest of the goodies. It should be a shooter. What I've done with the Zulus as far as accuracy wise and the load that I developed, it's going to be a bad unit, bad rifle. I can't wait to shoot dogs with it. But so the 225. Let's take a look here. As you can see, these are the main buttons. This is the LRF. Tap it again, gives you the ballistic solution. This button here is the swap between full screen night vision to full screen thermal and back again. I'm not going to go through all the button selections and all that stuff, but you'll notice there's a wheel here. That's the zoom wheel to zoom in and out. The eye relief is decent on it. It could be more, but outside of that, I don't have any complaints. Yes, I wish the zoom was the wheel was a little bit bigger for night or for cold nights with gloves, but I have not had any issues with it. I'm not a big glove person anyway. I'm usually the one that's on the collar, so I usually use mittens anyway, and I haven't had an issue with neither the eye relief or the focus, or not the focus, but the zoom wheel. But it gets better. So when you go from the TNC225R, this particular unit, and again, there's the buttons you can see. This is my 22 Nosler, and I put a laser on the side of it. That's to locate dogs and thick stuff. It works like a champ. But we will jump to the 335 just for comparison. So this bad boy is my 243 that I built. I'm running a Sniper Hog Light Coyote cannon on it. I swap it between all three units. My dead air can and a laser on the front for locating dogs and thick stuff. But take a look at this. So we got a new IR laser unit on it. What appears to be a bigger IR light, which actually I do feel I can get out to 400 yards or further with it. This baby here, no more wheel. You have this throw knob, and I understand there's magnets in here that trips the magnification or whatever, however they have it set up. And then here's a little proximity sensor, so when you pull your head away from your eyepiece, the screen will shut off or kick on. I haven't messed with it a bunch, just because I'm constantly jumping on and on. I just, one last thing that I wanted to fiddle with. So the 384 Spectacular. Some of the other upgrades is you got the better screen in it, so you're getting the pixels of the Zulus that you didn't have in the 225. The 225, like I said, is still a sharp unit. It is so capable. Like I said, that Predator tournament we shot 33 fox, 1 black coyote, a possum, and a raccoon, and we took first place. And Freddie and I were on point. I think we only lost like 2 foxes, 3 foxes tops all night long. I mean, he cleaned some up for me. I cleaned up some for him. We took some long shots. We had some heartbreaks, but hey, we had a blast. I mean, we absolutely had a blast. It was a great pleasure to hunt with Freddie, and first time I ever met the man, and we hunted 3 days, 2.5 days straight, stayed at his place, and we had a good old time. We eat like shit, pardon my language. We eat like crap, and felt college days or something all over again. But anyway, this is the 335. I think the production unit comes with a lens cover for the thermal side. I have to send this unit off to get a firmware update on the thermal side as well, which will give me a little bit more clarity than what this has already. These are the two buttons. We went from the big buttons on the 225 to these little buttons here. Again, the more you play with it, the more you get used to it. So jumping from the 225 to the 335, you're gaining the upgraded screen, button layout, the zoom lever, whatever you want to call it, for magnification instead of that little wheel, the sensor, the proximity sensor, the bigger IR light, of course the upgraded 384 sensor. You're jumping from a 18650 battery to a 21700 battery, so you're getting more battery time, which is a good thing. New features such as you can do a thermal lock where it locks the thermal to the base mag, so as you're zooming in with night vision, your thermal picture will stay on base magnification. So if you're shooting it like I do, which is mainly shooting from night vision and using thermal as my information gathering screen, what's out there, I like that big field of view with the thermal lock so that it stays down low, so I get a big field of view as I'm zooming in more and getting a tighter field of view with night vision. That's how I use it, and it works like a champ because I can see multiple dogs coming in. I can see cattle if you're shooting in a field full of cattle, and if you're like me, you don't take running shots on fields with cattle in them. You're very cautious, and that thermal gives you the ability to see what's behind that target, and all the information that's going on around you, as opposed to being zoomed in on night vision and not, losing that peripheral awareness. And this has the larger eye relief. You don't have to bring the optic nearly as far back. You gain a little more eye relief from it, and it's just a more refined progression from the 225R. And then the 635R, my understanding, the only difference is pretty much just the upgrade to the 640 core. You're going to stay in this form factor and gain all these features, but you'll have the 1.5 power base magnification 640. So again, I haven't had any issues with any of these units. When I first got this 335, I had experimental firmware in it, and it was a little buggy. It wasn't perfect. They thought it was a fix for some of the original stuff, and again, this was a pre-production unit, so I was very fortunate to be trusted by DNT to run it. Couldn't share any video of it. Had a lot of people beg me for it, and I just couldn't. I had to provide that information to DNT to hopefully further fix any bugs or whatever, but the latest firmware has been spot on. I haven't had any hiccups at all. So knock on wood, and many praises to DNT's technical side. They're very aggressive in fixing any problems and basically not sending out anything that has problems in the first place. The Zulus came trouble-free. The ThermNight, when I first got it, I gotta admit I was a little leery of it. The firmware that was on it, from the night vision side, the night vision acted a lot like thermal in that it was severely affected by weather. And I don't know what they did, but it went from, I don't know whether I can get used to this. This is nothing like the Zulus 2. Oh my God, this is awesome. This is really clear. It was a huge jump in performance from the original to the
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Shut up, Siri. So yeah, it was a huge jump. Remind me the next time I'm doing one of these videos to shut Siri off because she's a pain in the ass. But yeah, the night vision on the Zulus, or the 225R, again, at nighttime especially, it is crystal clear. I mean, it's very usable. It's as good as anything I've used. You lose a little bit of the prettiness because of the pixel sizes or the density or whatever it is, the technical term. But I did not feel underpowered or undergunned or outgunned. Freddie was running a thermal that night, and we had some rough conditions, and both his units and my units, they just churned out. They just kept eating all night, all weekend long. So again, the only difference I would have probably done, instead of swapping out batteries, I have a huge amount of 18650 flat tops. I would probably run an external battery pack from here on out on those long nights where I don't want to play with batteries too much. You know, I ran maybe 4 or 5 sets and swap a battery out, 4 or 5 sets and swap a battery out. And we ran a lot of sets. We ran and ran and ran, and the units just kept running. IR lights on the ThermNight 225R, I feel comfortable saying that I could probably take a shot out to 350, 400 yards on most nights with decent conditions with the stock IR. And if you're hunting small fields, you can get away with that all night long. If you like me, I like to have there's nothing wrong with having it all on board. I like a external IR because it gets my hands away from the optic. I don't like having my hands
Hello.
on.
How can I help?
Shut up, Siri. I like keeping my hands away from the optic. I like the big controls of an external IR light. It's just a personal preference. If you're not used to either, the onboard IR light will take very good care of you on most small to medium fields. If you want to reach out there, you want to push these units to the limit, which is what I do. I have some fields that are 800 to 1,000 yards. No, I'm not shooting 1,000 yards, but I have missed a raccoon at around 750 with the 225, and I was absolutely 100% positive what it was. I could see it just fine. And when I say I missed it, I literally just missed it. I just need to learn how to read the wind a little bit better, because data-wise, it was right on where it needed to be. It just drifted. So the external IR, like a sniper hog light, coyote cannon, I have a Hyperion 66 coming, and I don't see it being very different from the coyote cannon. I see it helping me get out there a long way. I'm running with guys that are running halos, and I'm identifying things at 500-600 yards. You know, they're like, "Is that fox, coyote? What is that?" I'm like, "That's a fox. That's a coyote." I mean, we had one of my videos. I have a fox running through the woods. At first, I thought it was a dog, and I'm like, "Nope, that's a fox." You know, it's just so nice to be able to identify so quickly, especially when season's not in for fox. You get young coyote pups running or something like that, and it's very easy to sometimes size-wise misjudge what you're looking at. You know, either any of these, the Zulus, the ThermNight 225, the 335. Hopefully I'll have some video of the 640, the 635 version soon, and we'll be able to wrap this all together. I'll get them all three out into a field, set them side by side, and try to get some real-time footage of all three of them together. I've done that for just firmware tweaks and so forth. I have video of the two ThermNights together to show the difference in, where each of them stands. That video was for tech support or whatever you want to call them. And I never released that video, but all of them are darn near identical with just some minor differences. I don't know what else to really cover. Like I said, all three units have been bug-free. I haven't had to reboot them. I haven't lost any zeros. Um, what else? I guess the biggest takeaway from the units is jumping from the 225 to the 335 is just the features that you get. It's it's an upgraded optic altogether as far as the layout. If you were going to get a 225R, I highly recommend, and it is not necessary, but I highly recommend if you have the money and can push the extra money to get the 335. Just the added features of the 335, the newer layout, a little bit better eye relief, the new zoom throw lever style, the bigger IR, the new LRF unit. You're getting a substantial amount of upgrade just jumping from the 225 to the 335. Do you need it? Do you only have $1,000, $900? Absolutely. You can't. I don't think there's a killing machine out there better than this unit for under $1,000. And I would run that against any other night vision scope. And where the other night vision scopes may be a little bit clearer or something like that, they're not going to touch it in the realm of that onboard thermal is just going to let you get on target quicker. It's going to let you find targets that you would not find without the use of thermal. And if that's all you can afford is $1,000 to get in to play the game, you can't beat the 225. It is by far in my opinion, the best killing machine for that price range, especially with their 10% discounts. You catch it on a holiday sale or whatever. I'm sorry, but again, if you don't have a thermal monocular, or you do have a thermal monocular, looking through your optic, seeing it in thermal, seeing it in night vision, identifying in night vision, even with, a little bit different screen in this, it is still better than night vision alone. Hands down, just ability to get on target quick and kill. I'm going to find it quicker, I'm going to get on target quicker, and I'm going to get shots off quicker 9 times out of 10 than just a night vision scope, especially in thick stuff. While you're sitting there, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you. One night I was sitting in a field where I thought, man, it's going to be a big field. I'm going to take the Zulus because I think I can get a long shot. And I called these dogs in right below us, and they were only about 50 yards from us. And my buddy, he's on his halo. He's like, yeah, I got one. He said, I don't have a great shot. I'm like, I can't find it. I was using the Zulus with strictly night vision, and that dog was looking below us, and I couldn't get the eye shine. So I couldn't pick it out in this thicker stuff, and it just totally blended in, and I was done. Had I brought my ThermNight 225 or the 335, I would have been money, because I would have picked it up like that, been on target. I said, let's shoot. He ended up, I think, shooting, and we did not recover it. So yes, there's some guys out there. I'm not knocking night vision. There's guys out there that are very efficient on night vision, and I've shot doubles by myself with just night vision and a handheld binocular. It's possible. I'm just telling you, there's going to be nights where they're in thick stuff, where they blend in, and you're just not going to be able to get on target fast, or even get on target without that onboard thermal. It just, there's going to be those nights. And again, I'm not knocking night vision. It's amazing. I love night vision. I mean, I had a Halo XRF, and I had a IRA hybrid 75 millimeter, and I sold those, and I'm using this. And that is not a knock on this, and that is not a knock on them. The simplicity of this, I didn't skip a beat. And my buddies with the Halos like, damn, you already know what that is. He thought it was this, and I'm like, nope, it's this. It's that different, having night vision. You know, and if you're the only night vision in your group of thermal hunters, you know, if you hunt in packs like we do, we hunt 2 or 3 people. Having a guy on night vision is a huge asset, especially if you live in semi-residential areas that you have dogs running around or pets. Um, it's huge. So uh, I don't feel underwhelmed. Right now I'm not interested in a 1200 plus resolution thermal optic. Yes, I've wanted one for years, but I'm having so much fun with these optics, and they're a lot more affordable price range. I'm retired, you know. I want a fixed income, and by all means, I've not lost any hunting using this equipment, and it has definitely been fun. And when I jumped to the Zulus, it was a challenge, and I like that because thermal became so automatic to me. You know, so when I was running the Zulus, it was more challenging. So you're shooting a double with night vision, and it just gets your blood pumping a little differently than it does thermal. And uh, I can't say that I'm disappointed with it. When I jumped to the ThermNight, man, I was tickled to death to get it, and watch my video. I'll attach some of the footage from the Predator tournament. I'll attach it to this video. It's been a performer. The 335 is just more sweetness of the 225 and a better form factor, newer form factor, and some new perks. And again, I can't wait to get to the 640 units. So anyway, I hope I answered any questions. I love all 3 units. Right now, the 384 is definitely my favorite of the 3, and of course it should be. It's 384 thermal, you know, along with Zulus quality night vision. What's not to love about that? So I'm super excited to get my hands on the 640 with that 1.5 base magnification. It is not intended, and maybe you're good, but I can't shoot 300-400 yards on 1.5 magnification, and I don't want to shoot 640 zoomed in from 1.5 to a usable target size with thermal. You know, use the thermal for what it's intended for. Or locating targets and shooting with crystal clear night vision. To me, that's the way the ThermNight series was designed. You use it how you want, but that's the way I recommend and think it should be used. Outside of that, I want to thank DNT and everybody for tuning in. My name's Daniel Teets, and feel free to bash me, yell at me, thank me, question me. I have nothing to hide. These units have been spectacular, and I have no reason to lie about any of my experiences with them or with the units themselves, what they're capable of doing. I will answer any questions I can, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.
It's about 300 yards there. Yeah, there's some branches in the way. I got a shot between his eyes, but yeah, we're gonna have to shoot over this cow. When he comes out of that bottom, 247. $260 right there. Let's take him. Yep. Ready? Hold on. 3, 2. He ain't going far. Hell yeah. Come on, cattle. Good shot, bro. Move, damn it. You want me to take it? Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting... Shoot it? Go ahead. Shit. Go ahead. Nice. I'll see him. Talk to me, let me know. I'm looking at the collar. I mean, at my remote. Right, they're coming in, shit. Yours is still moving. Mine's moving. I don't think it's gone anywhere, but mine's moving. Yeah, as soon as it stops, I'm shooting it again. Good pickup. Yours is moving. Yeah. See it?